Good evening. It is time for the Iman Report. It is Saturday, May the 15th. We are here to recap UFC 262. If you like what you see, give this channel a big like button and please be kind and hit that subscribe button. And this was a very exciting fight tonight. Now Charles Oliveira is the new lightweight champion at the 155-pound division. Charles do Bronx Oliveira knocks out Michael Chandler in the second round in a very exciting main event tonight. In the first round, it was all Chandler all the time. Then Chandler gassed himself out in the first round, whereas the patience Charles Oliveira gets it done in the second round, knocks out Michael Chandler, and now he is the new reigning 155-pound division champion. And for the longest time, Oliveira was maybe an afterthought or might be nothing more than a journeyman. Then he comes back to 155 and just went on an incredible run. And tonight, he finally secures this incredible run with UFC gold. It is Charles Oliveira's night, a night to remember. And the crazy part is, Oliveira is he's only 31. He's been in the UFC, I think, since like 2010. He's been in the UFC for 11 years. I've seen him fight at 145, and then unfortunately he couldn't make the weight anymore at 145. He had some good, exciting fights against Max Holloway, Ricardo Lamas, Anthony Pettis. Then his last loss was 2017 against Paul Felder. After Felder, he's just been on a tear, beating Tony Ferguson. We'll get to him a little bit later. Kevin Lee, Jared Gordon. But he was more of an afterthought at 145, and then he unfortunately just could not make the weight at 145 three times. He was relegated to lightweight. And now, on an 8-fight winning streak, he finally secures that elusive title that has eluded Charles Oliveira for the longest time. Congrats to him. As for Michael Chandler, maybe tried a little too hard for the finish in the first round. It happens, but Chandler certainly has plenty of exciting fights in the UFC coming up. We're going to get to who these two should face next, but maybe it's just not meant to be. Now 1-1 in the UFC, 22-6. But Chandler is nowhere by means done. Who's likely next for Charles Oliveira? Probably the winner of the trilogy against Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor is likely what's next for Charles Oliveira. As for what is next for Michael Chandler, he's still a name. He's still exciting in the UFC. Give him Justin Gaethje. That should be one banger of a fight right there. So that's where we go there. In the co-main event, Beneil Dariush gets a signature win over Tony Ferguson. All three had it 30-27. In my card, I had it 30-26 for Dariush. Granted, there was a little bit of controversy with Dariush getting a little political in his speech, talking about want Elon Musk, all that good stuff. But still, that should not take away from the big win of Beneil Dariush. Dariush now in the hunt for the 155 title. He should be getting a big fight next after a big win over Tony Ferguson. Dariush has won 6 in a row with names such as Drew Dober, Diego Ferreira. What is likely next for Dariush? There is some plenty of possibilities for Dariush now. There is possibility that Islam Makhachev and Rafael dos Anjos could be fighting each other later this year. Possibility there. If, say, that doesn't happen, I would not mind seeing Beneil Dariush fight Rafael dos Anjos. That would get each fighter maybe one fight away from a title shot there if that fight were to occur. As for Tony Ferguson, that's 3 in a row. He's not going to get cut, but you got to wonder how much is left in the tank for Tony Ferguson. He's lost to grapplers. His chin is fading. Is it maybe time to consider 170? I think that should be maybe what should be on the table. A move to 170 should be a real possibility for Tony Ferguson, but 3 in a row and trending in the wrong direction for Tony Ferguson at this point. I think a step down in competition is what is next for Tony Ferguson. I would like to see El Kukui maybe fight Paul. I'll go with Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, a fighter who's fallen on hard times as of late. Hooker and Ferguson would be a fun fight you can put on the middle of a main card. Hope this could be a good way for one of these two fighters to get back on track. Fight before that, Rogerio Bontorin beats Matt Schnell via unanimous decision. Bontorin snaps a 2-fight losing streak. What is next for Bontorin? Rogerio Bontorin. Unfortunately, he's already lost to Kai Kara France and Ray Borg. Maybe book him against Alex Perez. That may not be that could be a possibility there. I'll go with, and that's maybe what should be next. Maybe is Bontorin versus Perez. Unfortunately, Bontorin did not make weight at this fight, so he will lose 20% of his purse. Matt Schnell on the losing end. Schnell exchanging wins and losses in his last 4. So, probably another fighter coming off a loss is what's likely next for Matt Schnell. I say you book him against Tim Elliott. That's what I will go with for now. or the loser of Matahari Sue and Tim Elliott. I'll go with that. Fight before that, Caitlin Chikagian beats Vivian Araujo via unanimous decision. Bad news is that likely wipes out a contender for Valentina Shevchenko. Chikagian, always good as a gatekeeper. Question: who hasn't Chikagian fought yet? Now she owns wins over Araujo and Cavillo. Her losses are to Andrade and and to Bullet and Jessica I. She won't likely be fighting for a title anytime soon. Right now, I would keep her away from Lauren Murphy. We need to keep a contender for Shevchenko. Oh, wait a minute. She's fighting JoJo anyway, so that's... Okay, the loser. I'll go with the... Oh, no, she's fought JoJo. Never mind. Fortunately, Chikagian, this is difficult matchmaking. She's almost fought every top 10 fighter at 125. Maybe the winner of Macy Barber and Miranda Maverick? Talia Santos. I think I'll just go Talia Santos. No, or Alexa Grasso. I'll go Alexa Grasso versus Caitlin Chikagian. That's what should be next. Maybe not doesn't make the best of sense, but Chikagian's pretty much fought everybody in the top 10 at this point. And as for Viviane Araujo, this is only her second loss in the UFC. So Araujo should not see too much of a step down. Probably the loser of Jessica I and Jennifer Maia is what should be next there. And on the opener of the main card, Edson Barboza beat Shane Burgos via TKO, via knockout. What's next for Edson Barboza? I think next for Barboza is a fight against Giga Chikadze. Chikadze victorious last week against Cub Swanson. I think this would be one banger of a fight. Burgos now dropping 2 in a row. Shane Burgos actually won in... he's dropped back to first time he's lost consecutive fights. So he's probably going to have to take a bit of a step down in his next fight. And for Burgos, maybe that step down is Movsar Imalev. You make sure he's not booked. Okay, well, okay, Imalev's fighting Dawoodu, so that's not going to make sense. Bryce Mitchell. Let's go with Bryce Mitchell. I'm going to go Burgos versus Mitchell. That is what should be next. Now on to the prelim card. Andre Muniz, rising a fast up-and-comer in the middleweight division, submits Rolando Jacare Souza and should be getting a bigger name in his next fight. Muniz now 21-4 in his MMA career. He has won his last 7 fights. Currently ranked 25 according to Tapology. And you know what? I think a good next fight for him is Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen just right underneath the top 15. If Muniz could get past Brendan Allen, that should get him a ranking. So that's what I think should be next for Andre Muniz, is a fight with Brendan Allen. As for Souza Jacare, please retire. For the love of God, please retire. And in the fight before that, in a split decision, Lando Venata beats Mike Grundy. Venata making his 145 debut. Groovy improves to 12-5. It's currently ranked 98 at featherweight according to Tapology. I think the winner of Albazi and Osborne's what should be next for Venata. And what should be next for Venata? For Grundy, excuse me. Mike Grundy falls to 12-3. Lost 2 straight. So he's likely going to get a fighter near the cut line is what should be next for Mike Grundy at 1-2. That's not good territory to be. So I think certainly a loser leaves town is what's next for Mike Grundy. I think Danny Henry's what should be next. We'll go with that. Loser, that fight gets cut. Fight before that, Jordan Wright beats Jamie Pickett via TKO. Jordan Wright improves to 12-1. Currently ranked 55 according to Tapology. The winner of Todorovic and Patolo is what should be next for Wright. As for Pickett, I think it's likely unemployment for Jamie Pickett. Pickett falls to 11-6. 0-2, so that's likely the regional circuit. And in the opener, Andrea Lee beats in the TV prelims, and Andrea Lee beats Antonina Shevchenko. I think for Lee, Talia Santos is what should be next. As for Antonina Shevchenko, La Pantera now 9-3. Now swapping wins and losses at this point. I say JJ Aldrich is what should be next. We'll go with that. And on to the prelim card. Priscilla Cachoeira beats Gina Mazzani via TKO. Zombie Girl now 10-3 in the UFC. Riding a 2-fight winning streak, ranked 35 according to Tapology. Fiora and the winner of Fiora and Moros is what should make sense for Cachoeira, is what should be next. And as for... You just lost your house on Shane Burgos? Oh, I don't bet on the fights, unfortunately, Ryan. I'm not a gambler. But welcome to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. And as for Gina Mazzani, can't find her. Mazzani now 7-5. I think pretty much but who knows what you do with Mazzani. She's at probably give her a debutante. That's what's next for Mazzani. Fight before that, Tucker Lutz beats Kevin Aguilar via unanimous decision. Tucker Lutz now 12-1 in his MMA career. And his first UFC win, so congratulations. Currently ranked 110 at featherweight according to Tapology. So I think next for him, maybe put him up against Felipe Colares. Those two together. And then Kevin Aguilar has lost 4 in a row. That should be the pink slip for Kevin Aguilar at this point. So I think for him, cut him. Bye-bye. And in the opener, Christos Giagos beats Sean Soriano via technical submission. Giagos now 19-8. Currently ranked at 47. I say give him Otman Azatar. That's what should be next. And as for Sean Soriano, give him a debutante since it's his first loss. That will put a bow on UFC 262. Now it's on to UFC Fight Night next week. Hopefully I'll have the energy to do a show afterwards. Yes, I have been tired working Saturday, so forgive me for skipping a few weeks. But next week it is Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt. That should be an entertaining fight. Yao Zanan versus Carla Esparza. Likely for the next title shot against Rose Namajunas. You got Dvorak versus Paiva. Jack Hermanson versus Edmund Shabazian. Tune in next week. I'm heading to bed. Everybody have a great night. Have a good Sunday. Have a good week. Good night, everybody.